Hello and welcome. My name is Chris Shelton, coming to you from a beautiful day in sunny San Jose, California, the heart of Silicon Valley, coming to you with your DIY Home Remedies Guide to Health, Happiness, and Healing Transformation. Normally, we send out a video every single week about some health-related topic, which then goes back to my future books that I'm writing. Right now, I'm currently working on the DIY Home Remedies book for back pain, and we're talking cervical pain, thoracic pain, and lower lumbar, which affects millions of people around the world. So a lot of people ask me, Chris, how did you get started with this whole DIY Home Remedies? And, it actually started at our center, the Morning Cream Healing Arts Center in William Glen in San Jose, California. So about 17 years ago, I taught a class. It was actually multiple classes on some health-related topic. And it was the things that I found during the time that I seen mostly in clinic that was affecting my patients, which were things like constipation, diarrhea, all the fun stuff, nausea and vomiting, lower back issues, lumbar stenosis, etc., neck issues, depression, those types of things, tinnitus, ringing of the ears. So what I did was I realized people really need to take charge of their life, and how can I help them with the knowledge that I have that I've gotten from my teachers, as well as from the studies throughout the 30 years I've been in clinical practice. And so I came up with this group of classes. It was called the Home Remedies course, and each week there was a 3 to 4 hour class. And not only did we talk about what the etiology or the root cause was for these different conditions, but then treatment strategies or strategies for these clients or these patients to be able to empower themselves to be able to do this at home on themselves or on their loved ones or somebody that they know. So from there, we were starting to put together a book. Patricia Evans, I had this gal that was helping me edit a lot of my stuff for my medical Qigong courses. And so we kind of started with it, and she kind of honed down some of the footnotes from all those classes, but it was nothing concrete. And then fast forward, I meet Parisa, the love of my life, and because of her and us working together and having the same mission, she started to help me get all this information that I have up here, and I have volumes. You could ask her. I have volumes of binders behind the curtain in my office here, and full of information that I've written, that I've gathered throughout the years on different health issues, Chinese medicine, herbs, you name it. And so what happened was that we were like, okay, well, this stuff needs to get out there to the people. So how can we get this out? So we started off with the it was going to be the DIY Home Remedies Guide. Initially, the book was, the working title at the time was Ancient Medicine, Modern Miracles. And that book was supposed to be broken down into 3 parts. The first part was supposed to be looking at common ailments. So like I was talking about, colds, flus, viruses, constipation, migraines, those types of things, and how to fix it yourself. Again, what is the etiology? What is the root cause? And then we look at environment and our emotions and our diet and family history, all that kind of stuff, and how to fix it. The second part of the book, the whole section was supposed to be on the spine, because there are so many people that suffer from lower lumbar issues, thoracic issues, which normally feels like they have a rib out, and then cervical issues, which is frozen shoulder and neck issues. Okay, so the whole section is supposed to be on that. And then the third section was supposed to be on more difficult conditions like Meniere's disease, which is chronic vertigo, which there's no cure in Western medicine. They only medicate to try to stop or slow down the vertigo or the spinning. Meniere's disease, atrial fibrillation, AFib, gout. What else? Trigenital facial neuralgia. Some of these more severe cases. And did you know that like a condition like trigenital facial neuralgia is one of the most painful nerve conditions known in Western medicine? They actually call it the suicide disease because the pain, there's no cure for it, and the pain is so intense that unfortunately a lot of times people will actually kill themselves as a result of it. So these were the more difficult issues, multiple sclerosis, those kinds of things. And unfortunately, my mom had passed away from that, so it rings true to my heart of watching and witnessing what that disease does to somebody, and it slowly deteriorates them. So it was really, this book was about, how do we empower people? How do we help people understand, not only from a scientific point of view, looking at the physiology of the organism, but from also Chinese medicine, meeting East and West together, because I do truly believe in integrative medicine. I'm not one of these people that's like, no, it has to be all alternative medicine or nothing. No, there has to be an integration, because there's some things that science is doing and can do that Chinese medicine can't even touch. But some of these conditions, like atrial fibrillation, trigeminal facial neuralgia, that's where Chinese medicine actually comes in. I want something that everybody could pick up, read what is pertinent to their situation, and then put it down and put it away until they find that they have another issue come up. So what we decided then was to go ahead and break apart those 3 sections into 3 separate books. So on top of my first book, Qigong for Self-Refinement, Total Health with the 5 Elements, we're now working on and have been working on the DIY Home Remedies Guide for back issues, and we're covering like I said, the cervical, the thoracic spine, and the lower lumbar. And let me tell you, it is a process. I also have an artistic background, and I'm doing the illustrations for the book, but I can't go, for example, or my mindset has a hard time going from healing people or teaching classes to okay, I have an hour now, I'm going to sit down and write. To turn it on and off like that, it doesn't work for me. So in order for me to write, I have to be in certain mind, body, and spirit. You can't force me to write. You can ask Parisa, if she says, oh, Chris, you have 2 hours to write, my ego flares up, and if I have other things in my list of things to do for the day, then it's going to kick in, it's going to resist back, and probably no writing is going to honestly get done. So I have to be in a certain place where I'm okay, I need to be left alone, number one. I do like to drink coffee, a little bit of coffee while I'm writing, and I do like to listen to soft classical music and have that playing in the background. And I think it's proven that it actually helps to stimulate creativity. It does that for me too, but I have to be in this place. I can't be bothered, people walking in and out, phones going off, so I completely detach from everything just so I could write. Where am I at right now? Well, here we are in August, and so far I've written about the lower lumbar, I've written about the thoracic spine issues, all the different issues, and also about the cervical spine and all the issues connecting with that. I've also written all the treatment strategies for all 3 sections. Now, Leanne is actually starting to give us back those sections, and we actually are going through the edits right now. We just went through the edits. In fact, we had a Zoom call today and actually went through the edits on the lower lumbar. And the next sections of the book that I'm working on is, for example, what is Qigong? How do we get sick? What is yin and yang? What are the 5 elements? Because these are all pertinent. And what's going to happen too is that we're going to have, besides the illustrations that I have of human anatomy and such, and showing where these acupuncture points are, or the certain things I really want to illustrate, like degeneration of the hip, because the femur bone is grinding in the hip socket. So I'm doing illustrations on that, but also I'm going to roughly say by the time this book is done, there's probably going to be at least 50 photographs, colored photographs, demonstrating how to do these techniques. And again, these are all things that I'm recommending that you could do at home to be able to empower you. So persistence pays off. One of the things that the first editor that we had, that I remember her saying that is always stuck in my head, is that she would always say, well, how do you eat an elephant? And well, I wouldn't eat an elephant. I actually love elephants, honestly, and I think that they're enslaved too much. You should free the elephants. That's a little side digression, but I really think you should free the elephants. But anyways, she'd say, how do you eat an elephant? And how would you eat an elephant? It's one piece at a time. So if you are thinking about writing a book, there's millions of people that say, I have a book, I want to write it. And go out there and do it. It is a process though, because then there's other things going on in the background too. So we have, for example, we just had a Zoom meeting or a phone meeting with book covers, someone who designs book covers and does the layout for the book. Going to be making it into an ebook. We're actually taking the first book and we're going to change the title of it so that way it's something more accessible for people. And we're going to have the same similar look and feel for all the books. So people look at the book, and if they look at another book that I write, they say, oh, that's obviously a Chris Shelton book. Okay, so there's a lot of moving parts, and if you are planning on writing, find a great editor. That's number one. Jot down your ideas. Jot down maybe a general table of contents. But the cool thing about that table of contents is that what I've learned working with the second editor is that it's not fixed in stone. It gives you a general guideline, okay, this is what I'm going to write about, but those parts can move. They could change, you could delete them, you could add more things, but at least give yourself some kind of structure. And this is the best way, and give yourself time. This is the best way to be able to launch a book. I guess what I'm saying is that I'm a very, very busy person, and so to make time to write is essential. But if you do want to write, you do have to set aside some time and find some method that works for you. Maybe you go away to Sedona for a few weeks. I know that there's writing clubs that, they just go away, but find that time. And this is where we are right now. We just want to give you an update and just the process that it's taken and where we are. And we're hoping by the end of September, keep our fingers crossed, that all the written pieces will be done, and then there'll be formatting, and then hopefully pretty soon after that, we will go to print. How exciting. So once again, thank you so much for all your love and support. There's so many people out there that send such nice messages to Risa and myself, and thanking us for the work that we're doing. But we really have a blessed life because we get to do what we love to do, and that is not only take care of our own health, but also to be able to share with other people how to take care of their own health and improve their lives and the lives of other people. So thank you once again, and I'll check in again in probably about another month to see where we are with this DIY Home Remedies book on back problems. We really appreciate you once again. So I'm Chris Shelton signing off from a beautiful day in sunny San Jose, California, the heart of Silicon Valley, coming to you with your DIY Home Remedies guide to health, happiness, and healing transformations.